We all the brave companions, companions brave are we. And now we band together to fight the great zombie. To sit upon our laurels would only make us bored. So now we work together to fight the zombie horde.
Hey guys, I'm going to go over each of the survivors, and then I'm going to roll the dice to see the order that we're going to pick survivors. So let's get started. First up is Amy. She's the goth chick. She starts out with a +1 move action, so that means when she takes a move action, she can take a free move action each turn, which is pretty helpful. At yellow, she gets a +1 action, and then at orange, she gets to choose between a free combat action or a free move action, and then at red, she can choose between +1 dice roll on combat, or +1 die in combat, and then the medic skill. All right, so that's Amy, the goth chick. Next up is Doug, the office worker. He starts off with a matching set, which means when he searches and he finds a pistol, he gets to search through and find another pistol. And I'm pretty sure that's the same way for all of the weapons. Or all the dual wieldable weapons, but I'll have to check that from the rule book. But it's a pretty good skill. And he gets a +1 action at yellow, and he gets a free combat action or a free ranged die at orange, and then he gets the slippery skill, which means he can move in and out of spaces with zombies in it without spending the extra actions. He can choose between that or +1 die roll in combat, or the ambidextrous skill. I can't remember what that does, but we can check it when he gets to red. So that's Doug, the office worker. Next up is Josh, the street thug. He starts off with a slippery skill, which is what I was saying. You can move in and out of spaces with zombies. +1 action at yellow, +1 die melee, or 1 reroll per turn at orange. And then a +1 free move action or a +1 dice roll in combat, or the lucky skill, which again, I'll have to check that. But so that's Josh, the street thug. Next up is Ned, the survivalist. He starts with a free search action, which is helpful. Again, yellow, +1 action at yellow, +1 free combat action, or a +1 die when in ranged combat at orange. Then on red, he can choose between +1 die roll in combat, +1 die in combat, or +1 2 dice roll, in combat, +1 die in combat, or the tough skill, which means he gets to ignore the first wound. So yeah, that's Ned, the survivalist. Here's Phil, the cop. He starts with a pistol, which is pretty good. He's got a +1 action in yellow. On orange, he's got a +1 free search action or +1 to the dice roll in ranged combat. At red, he's got the born leader skill, which I'm not quite sure what that is. I can check it real fast. Because that sounds interesting. Oh, during the survivor's turn, he may give 1 free action to another survivor. This action must be used during the next turn of the recipient, otherwise it is lost. So that's pretty cool. Or you can do a +1 die to ranged, or you can take the sniper skill, which I think lets you get hit add to ranged maybe. I'll have to check that as well. Actually, I can do that right now. There's sniper. The survivor chooses freely the targets of all ranged combat. Oh, okay. So that means he doesn't have to shoot his friends when you're in ranged combat. That's pretty helpful. So that's Phil, the cop. And last, for the regular survivors, is Wanda. She's on roller skates, so she gets +2 zones per move action. So every time she takes a move action, she moves 2 zones. So she could move really up to 6 spaces in one turn if there were no zombies in those spaces. +1 action on yellow. She's got the slippery skill. She could take the slippery skill or a +1 to the dice roll in melee. At red, she can take a +1 die in combat, a +1 free move action, or a +1 zone per move. So she could move 3 zones per move if she takes that in red. So very speedy. That's Wanda. Now the other options are the promo survivors. So this is Dave. He's obviously based off Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory. He's got a skill called 2 cocktails are better than 1, which means when he gets the gasoline and the glass jar and builds a Molotov, instead of just getting 1 Molotov, he gets 2. +1 action in yellow, and then he gets a +1 reroll per turn, or slippery in orange. And then in red, he can choose +1 to die roll ranged, +1 die in ranged, or the lucky skill. So that's Dave. Next up is El Cholo, based off Machete. He starts with 2 machetes, which is really cool. Now he's got a +1 action in yellow, +1 free combat action, or a +1 die in melee. And then in red, he can take a free combat action, or +1 to die roll combat, or +1 damage with machete, which is pretty cool. So that's El Cholo. And finally, we have Nick, who is obviously from Die Hard. He starts with the tough skill, which means he can ignore the first wound that he takes, which is pretty cool. He's got a +1 action in yellow. He can take the slippery or +1 die in combat in orange, and then at red he can take a +1 free move action, born leader, or ninja. Ninja mean the survivor makes no noise at all. His presence does not count as a noise token, and his use of equipment or weapons produces no noise tokens. So that's pretty neat too. All right, so those are the survivors. You can let me know which one you want. It's based on the name or based on, their cliche if you'd like. Let's see. Let's get the choices of who gets to choose first. Let's see. High roller gets to choose first. So we'll start with me. And I get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Doug gets 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 as well. Next up, Lee gets 9, 14. Chris gets 8, 9, 10. Travis has 12, 17. Wow. Looks like Travis will be. Kevin gets 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so let's re-roll. This one's for me. 4, 5, 7. Doug, 5, 7, 8, 9. And Kevin, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so Travis goes first. And then next up is 14. Lee picks second. Then the rest of our 11s. So from out of our 11s, next up is Kevin. And then Doug. And then me. And then finally, Chris, who seems to always roll last. All right. Whoa. So there's the order. Travis, Lee, Kevin, Doug, Cody, and Chris. Let me know which ones, put in the comment which survivor you want, and we'll get this started. I'm just going to go over the setup for the scenario at the beginning of the first episode. So let me know which survivor you want. We'll pick them in that order, and we'll go from there.